back on track?
Yeah, it's awesome. We every time we come out to play on Sundays, we expect to win, and today we did that. So hasn't been exactly the results we wanted, but just about staying the course and continuing to improve. And we had a really good week of practice and translated to the field. So we definitely have some things to clean up as well. I think we know that, but yeah, it definitely feels good, getting a win.
Can you talk about the position group, the D line, and felt like everybody was kind of flying around out there?
Yeah, it's awesome. The standard we set for ourselves in that room is, top tier. Love those guys, man. We have a ton of young guys, proving themselves, and guys with, a ton of energy. So it's a blessing, being able to go to work with them every day.
Max, how much do you feel like the players' meeting was a positive heading into the field?
It's complete bullshit. I don't know who made that up. And I hear different random bullshit all the time. So I don't know who came up with that, but it's 100% false.
Max,
so I don't know where that comes from.
Max, earlier this week, Patrick Graham said he was tired of the talk. He was ready for you guys to do it. Was that the mentality going into the game this week?
100%. There's anybody could talk, but when it really comes down to it, it's about going out there and getting the results. And it comes from the preparation. And focus on where your feet are at, not worrying about tomorrow, worry about yesterday, just being exactly where you're at, and it's going to give you a better chance to be at your best the next day. So that's our mindset, and like I said, we had a really good week of practice, and we have awesome guys in this locker room, so it was really cool being out there and seeing all the guys flying around.
Max, as a team, you guys had 6 sacks. How easy is it to really get after the quarterback and rush a pass when you stop the run as well as you did today?
Yeah, it's everything matters. Playing complementary football, we know that. And it goes with special teams, with offense. Offense is scoring points, moving the ball. It just makes everything easier. And we talk about it as a unit. We're very open and honest. We have every Monday it's Tell the Truth Monday. We go in there and how are we going to help each other out? How are we going to put ourselves in more easier situations where we can go be at our best. And it's on all of us to be at our best. Our defense, we haven't been at our best all year. The offense hasn't, the special teams haven't, but I know we're focused on getting better, and that's all you can do. So yeah, we just stay together, through all the things going on around us, and staying focused on what matters, and that's trying to get wins.
Heading to Kansas City next week, how much do you take from this game, and how much do you put behind you?
I mean, you got to treat the losses and the wins, almost the same, because can't get too high, can't get too low. You got to be even keeled. You got to be calm in the storm. You got to beat the storm. You know what I mean? You can't be riding the roller coaster all the time. If you are the storm, you control the outcome of what's about to happen. So I feel like that's kind of our mentality. Is just not get too high, too low, no matter it's win or loss. So we, obviously, we're trying to have this feeling more often. That's the ultimate goal. We want to win. But like you said, just because we won doesn't mean you just forget about all the things that we got to fix. So we got to address more things as well. But I think we're going in the right direction. So just one day at a time mentality.
I feel like before I ask my question, the ice is looking nice.
Appreciate
it's
it.
nice. So now for the question. It wasn't just one guy on defense. It was multiple guys. What does that do for you as a group when everyone's chipping in?
Yeah, we can't do it alone. It can't just be one guy. It can't just be a couple guys. It's got to be all of us, doing our 111th. And, Coach McMahon, our special teams coach, talks about it all the time. Just do your 111th and dominate your role. And everybody's going to have, the optimal, success that you could possibly have. If you're just focused on your, selfish things and I need to get mine and da-da-da-da-da, you're, ultimately you're not going to get what you want and you're going to hurt the team. And if you're doing it with no intent to receive, it's going to come back twofold, and I truly believe in that.
What kind of spark is Devin White in the locker room?
Oh, he's been awesome. Dev is he's a character to say the least. But yeah, he's been awesome. With him, coming in, trying to prove himself. He's had a lot of success in this league. He's moved around, in the last couple of years, but having him being here, and just seeing, the energy he brings has been really cool. So, me and him got an awesome relationship, and it's just about, holding each other accountable at all times. That's what it's all about. Me and him, we go back and forth and talk our shit in practice, and whether it's a locker room, whether it's a practice field, whatever it is, it's that competition to try to just always be the one bringing the most juice and the most energy and the most the best execution. Who's making the most plays? That's why I feel like me have that healthy competition is just going to help the team overall.
On top of that, how do guys like Jamal Adams and Jeremy Chin also play into that?
Oh yeah, no, those guys are awesome. Chin's a little bit more quiet, but he's a great dude, great teammate. and just the energy and the way he plays the game. He flies around and he has no fear when he's out there on the field. So when you have a guy like that on the back end, and being able to move him around in a lot of different spots, his versatility helps our defense a lot. So he's been incredible. Since he's been here, he's one of those guys. There's no nonsense, get to work, and he's been an awesome teammate. But Jamal Adams, another guy. I've known him, like I said, since high school. The energy he brings, the way he plays on the field, he's all over the place, and he's been a big part of our defense. And he's another guy. He's versatile. Play him inside, he can blitz him off the edge. He can come up the middle. He can do a lot of different things. So, like I said, he's just a great locker room and a great standard setter. You know what I mean, for our team and our defense. So, yeah, got nothing but good things to say about those guys.
And then one more in the first half. You made a tackle. It was 1st and 10. You made a tackle at the sticks at the first down. Do you take pride in being able to cover so much of the field?
Yeah, I've being relentless. I got it freaking tatted on me, so I can see it every day when I'm taking my notes. It's the first thing I see. You got to be relentless out there. And if you want to be different, you got to be. You got to act different. You got to be consistent to that all the time. So whether I got to sack the quarterback or get a TFL or bat the ball or run somebody down on the sideline, I want to be able to do that to help my team win. That's all that matters.
Max, first of all, happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
That looks
Appreciate
beautiful.
it.
And second of all, speaking of relationships and going at each other, as someone mentioned, you've got Casey next week and that relationship. Can you talk a little bit about facing Mahomes and how quickly are you going to start practicing for him?
Yeah, it never stops. I'm gonna obviously get home to my family. It's my daughter's birthday tomorrow, so definitely gonna be spending time with my girls. But yeah. It starts right away. It's people say 24-hour rule. It's basically like maybe 12 for me, and then start getting prepared for the next week and figuring out what I can improve off of, and then start breaking down the film one day at a time, getting ready for KC. But yeah, me and Pat, we've had some history. Everyone knows that. It's ultimate respect. When somebody that is obsessed with the game and is willing to go to the farthest extent to win, just like yourself, it brings the best out of each other. So I can't wait. But there's a lot of work to do until then. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Max, we saw you talking to Booker, giving some tidbits to Booker. We see Jonah taking off. How good does it feel for you when the advice that you give them works out?
It's not about me. I just try to, show them. I just feel like when you have guys that are, coming up in the league and younger guys, I think the confidence part is the biggest thing. As far as, taking that next step as a player. So for me, I'm just always staying in their ear and just telling them to trust their work. You know what I mean? They're out there for a reason, and you just see them evolving, and it's been so cool. Jonah's playing his ass off. He's making more and more plays every week. Booker, that dude is a freaking refrigerator that can fly. So he's a scary combination of talent that can go out there and make plays. So we have a lot of guys that are trying to prove themselves, and whatever I can do to try to help them, I'm going to do. So, yeah, I love those guys when they're playing their ass off.
Max, similar kind of questions about Tyree. Comes up with the fumble recovery today. I know in practice you spend a lot of time with him. Just how do you feel about how he's coming along and the game he had today?
Yeah, Tyree's doing awesome. He's matured so much in the last couple of years. He's another guy, he stays in my corner. You know what I mean? He's with me every day. We work every single day. I give him a hard time. He gives me a hard time too, even though he's a younger dude. But he's really evolving just as a person and as a player. And if I had any type of effect on that, it mean the world to me, because I really do love the dude. He's a hell of a player and a hell of a person, and he's just continuing to get better. And I just expect him to just keep going in that direction, because he's learning how to be professional. He's learning how to work, and you just see it coming to life on Sundays.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you, guys.